Happy Monday, everyone. We're going to kickstart off the week fast and furious. We're going to have a lot of fun today, and I'm looking forward to this work set. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this one. It's a gasser, but it's going to be a great time. To get us started, though, let's talk about our warm-up. We have a plank to down dog / bear squat. So we have either alternating down dog to bear squat, or pick one or the other, work it, love it, have some fun with it. It's going to open up those shoulders and those legs and just get your body ready to go. Side lunge, 6 to 10, alternating with a 3-1-3 tempo. So we're going slow down, little pause, slow back up for anywhere from 6 to 10 reps. Sumo squat, 3 at a 303. Goblet squat for 3 at a 3-5-3. So a 5-second pause in the bottom and a slow stand. And then a dumbbell sumo deadlift for 3. And I'm going to walk you through that. It's going to be more goblet style. 2 to 3 rounds of that into a little bit more kind of movement focus to the workout. We have our dumbbell front squat for 3, dumbbell thruster for 3, single arm dumbbell swing for 3, and a nice little repeat on the opposite side. So we're going to practice that single arm swing. If you use it in the workout, awesome. If not, that's okay too. We're going to talk about some different ways to hold the dumbbell or kettlebell to make it worth your while and have some fun with it. We'll tackle that down. We're going to finish off some lateral ski jump plus RDL jump or hop for 20 seconds. Just dynamic movement, working on that nice kind of hybrid jump and hop. It's a good time, and we'll see where it takes us. We got 3 to 5 rounds of that. Just working our skill, getting our heart rate up, and then getting ready to tackle this bad boy. This work set, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Dumbbell thrusters. We're going to alternate every 5 reps. Or you're going to use 2 dumbbells and just do full reps for both hands. It's up to you, depending on what you have access to and what you have at home. After that, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 kettlebell dumbbell swing. So how this works, first round, 25 thrusters, 5 kettlebell swings. 20 thrusters, 10 swings. 15, 15, 10, 20, 5, 25, done. All right, it's a good time. We've done a workout similar to this in the past couple months, so I hope you guys kind of remember this one. It kind of brings back some fun memories of a good time, high heart rate, and it's going to be a blast. So let's get you ready, let's have some fun, and let's warm you guys up. All right, you guys, let's get those feet under those hips. We'll take the arms big and tall overhead. I'm just going to start by clasping the fingers and pressing the tops of the hands to the sky, reaching over. Come back up and over, reach to the other side. We're going to come back up and we bring those hands to the hips. We're going to gently start by opening up those hips a bit. Nice gentle circles all the way around. Nice and easy. Then we're going to go the other way. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. Nothing crazy here. Good. We'll come back to center, feet come together. Gentle little circles through the knees. Again, just trying to keep the feet flat, waking up the ankles as much as we are with the knees. Other way. Good. We'll come back to center, separate those feet, big stretch. Forward fold, we're going to touch those toes. Walk up the shins, we're going to come down. Framing a foot, step it back into your lizard. We are going to lower the back knee. We're going to press the hip. We'll come back to center, straighten the leg, and then straighten the front leg slowly. Plant the foot, lower, press the hip, center, straighten, and straighten. Planting the foot, we'll lower down one more time, press the hip, center, straighten, and straighten. Plant the foot, we'll step back into our down dog, setting those shoulders. We're just going to stay here for a moment and walk the feet out. Nice and slow, nice and steady. Taking our time, waking up the calves a bit, ankles. We're going to balance it out, come back into our plank. We'll step the other foot up. Nice and square in the hips. We're going to lower the knee, press the hip, come back to center, straighten, and straighten. We'll plant the foot, lower the knee, press the hip, center, straighten, and straighten. One more time, we'll lower, touch the knee and press the hip, center, straighten, and straighten. Plant the foot, step back into your down dog, reaching those hips nice and high. Come back into our plank, nice and set, pressing those shoulders to the ceiling, toe those feet up. We're going to roll ourselves up, big stretch. Clasp your press up and reach. And reach. Good, come on down. Whew. If you'd like to continue with some gentle warm-up, please pause the video, take that down. A little bit of time on the shoulders and or more on the lower body might not be a bad idea. You can take that down, though, pause it, and then come join me. We're going to talk you through the plank to down dog plus bear squat. So this work set is an alternating back and forth, or choosing one of them and working on it throughout the entire process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down both movements for you and just show you a flow back and forth. So first things first is the plank to down dog. We get our hands set under our shoulders, our feet are into the back, and my shoulders stay on top of my hands as I pull my ribs in, press my shoulders to the ceiling. Now I'm pulling everything in, pressing up to the sky, and I'm keeping my shoulders over the hands. I'm going to try and keep those armpits pointed towards my thighs as I pull the hips back, opening up through my mid-back, and those armpits are pointing down towards my toes as I stabilize through the shoulder. I'm going to come back in as I pull my core in, pull the ribs and hips in, pressing my shoulders to the sky, and hold. So I'm going to take the time to make sure that those shoulders are set. I want to think about that action of taking the shoulders away from each other, and that creates this space between shoulder and neck, and it opens up through the lat, and it helps align and stabilize that shoulder really well. Now the other movement we're doing today is the bear squat. So what we do is we get set up in that same position, hands underneath the shoulders. My feet are going to be hip width or squat stance. I'm still pulling my ribs in, my shoulders pressing to the sky. The only difference is I'm pulling straight back. Armpits are pointing towards the floor, thumb and pinky actively pressing into the ground, and then I come back to that neutral position. So I'm still focusing on that good outward roll of the scapula, so I'm stabilizing, I have a neck, but I want to think about that equal weight between the pinky and the thumb the whole time, because sometimes we can tend to roll out on the thumb or on the pinky, all right? It depends on where we're going with our body weight, all right? So that nice flat hand, active grip on the floor is a beautiful way to help keep those arms engaged. Now a nice little flow back and forth, I'll show you an alternating rep scheme. So I start in my plank. I'm going to take it into my hip width stance, and I'm going to pull my ribs and hips in, press my shoulders. I'm going to pull back into that down dog, really working on keeping those armpits pointing towards the toes. I'm going to come back into my plank, pulling the ribs and hips in, setting the shoulders, and then pulling straight back into my bear squat, coming back out into my plank, and then I move into that nice down dog again, and come back and reset for my bear squat. So you can experiment. You can do 3 to 5 reps, alternating back and forth. You can do 3 each. You can do pick one, whatever you want to do. It's going to really get those shoulders and legs ready for action for what's to come. Our next exercise is our side lunge. So we're going to get pretty wide with that stance. My toes are going to be slightly turned out. I'm going to be standing up nice and tall. My glutes are engaged. My body's upright. I'm going to take my hip to my heel. I'm going to get myself set and organized. As I pull my hip back, I'm going to try and keep my tall body, knee tracking the toe, and upright torso up, just like I would be if I was squatting. And I'm going to stand tall. Now the only catch here is we have a tempo. So we have a 3, 2, 1, 1 second hold, and then a 1, 2, 3. And then we'll take it down to the next side. I would even give yourself a 1 second beat at the top, just so we can open the hips, reassess, and then move into our range of motion. So think squat mechanics, not so much lunge mechanics. Think squat mechanics. It's a beautiful way to keep that torso up and make sure those knees are nice and stable. From that side lunge, I'm going to bring my feet in to my sumo stance. So I'm going to bring them in considerable amounts, but I'm still pretty wide. My toes are turned out slightly. I stand up nice and tall. My glutes are tight. My torso's tall. I'm going to pull my hips to my heels, trying to keep my body upright the entire time as I take it as deep as I feel comfortable in that sumo squat. So I do have to push out a little bit more so than I normally would in my normal air squat. So I'm going to turn profile so you can see my back position. My feet are in the same stance they just were. I'm going to pull my hips to my heels, my knees go out, chest stays tall, nice and active. I'm going to push those legs and stand for my sumo squat. After that, I'm gonna bring my feet in a little bit, and I'm gonna grab my dumbbell. Or I can stick with my regular air squat, depending on where I'm at for my warm-up. My feet are coming into my regular squat stance. My dumbbell is gonna be under the chin. I'm gonna pull the hips down towards my heels, knees, track my toes. So I'm not pushing them out as much as I was in my sumo, but I am still pushing them out enough that I can feel that engagement in my squat. So I take it down, chest stays up, and I can use my arms and press into that dumbbell a little extra to get that nice engagement through the upper body. So I have a nice 3 set of that goblet squat, 3 reps at a 3-second down, 5-second hold in the bottom, maintaining position, and then 3-second stand. After that, we have the Sumo Deadlift, and what I have for you guys today is just to warm up the hamstrings. So we're coming from a goblet squat. My feet can stay on my squat stance, so I'm just gonna bring the dumbbell down to the hip with both hands holding onto the belt. I'm just gonna pull the hips back and down, working that good hinge until my dumbbell touches the floor. And then I'm gonna stand up, or until my dumbbell reaches the depth that I can maintain good back position. So from the side, I'm working on that hinge motion. I pull the hips back, my knees go slightly out, I come down towards the floor, and I'm maintaining that nice strong deadlift position, so that nice hinge. I'm gonna feel that more in my glute and hamstring, opposed to my goblet squat where I'm going vertical, kind of trying to stay straight up and down. I'm gonna get that and welcome that hinge in my deadlift, okay? So it's just a little something to prime up your hamstrings a bit and get those glutes ready for what's to come. Pause the video, quick little recap what we got for you guys. We have a plank to down dog / bear squat for 3 to 5 reps, alternating or picking one. Side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps at a 3-1-3 tempo. Sumo squat, 3 reps at a 3-0-3 tempo, so 3 down, 3 up. Goblet squat or air squat, 3 reps, 3-5-3 tempo, and then a dumbbell or sumo deadlift with a 3-rep count, nice and smooth. If you want to add a tempo in there, be my guest, it's always nice, but just take your time with those. We're just warming up those hammies. 2 to 3 rounds, take it down, come along with me. We're going to go through our next phase, which is going to be a little bit more movement specific to the work set. So pause, warm yourself up, get yourself ready, come along with me. So our first movement in our next phase of our warm-up is our front squat with the dumbbell. So I'm going to clean my dumbbell up via the side or from the middle into that nice front rack position. So the back of the dumbbell is going to rest on the shoulder. My elbow is going to be forward and slightly out, pushing into the dumbbell a little bit so I can feel that engagement through the midsection. My squat stance is going to be my regular squat stance, the one I use for my goblet squat. I'm going to work on staying as upright as I can, taking my hips to my heels and pressing into that dumbbell just to stay upright. I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to work on 3 good smooth reps. And once I'm done my 3rd rep, I'm going to go right into my thruster. So my thruster is going to use that front squat, except this time I'm going to use the momentum driving out of the bottom and throwing that dumbbell overhead into that overhead position. So in the overhead position, the dumbbell is over top of my midsection. My shoulder is in good alignment and active through that lat. So I should be able to see my arm, hopefully, if I was looking at your profile. From here, I'm going to pull the dumbbell back to the shoulder. I'm going to squat, really good front squat, stand drive, feel that good overhead position, and then come back down and do it again. So I'm going to work 3 thrusters after 3 front squats. Then I'm going to pull the dumbbell down to my hip position. I'm going to work on 3 single arm dumbbell swings. So the swing with the single arm is the exact same mechanics as my normal kettlebell swing or dumbbell swing, except I'm just holding onto the handle with one hand. I keep my body square. I'm going to use that good deadlift back. I'm going to use that nice swing action, using my legs and hips, trying to stay as flat as I can through my feet for the entirety of that swing. I can take the dumbbell as high, or I can take the dumbbell as low as I need to, or feel comfortable with that swing. Once I'm done, my 3rd swing on that side, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to repeat that dumbbell, front squat, thruster, and then single arm swing on the other side. So the biggest thing we want to focus on here, again, we're working on some key squat mechanics, our good overhead position, and then that nice swing action, that good explosive hip. So take the time to really isolate those key points on both sides of the body as we use them in our work set. After we've done both sides, we're going to move into our lateral ski jump with RDL jump. So it's a little hybrid movement, and I'll show you what that's all about. If the lateral ski jump is hard enough just by itself, leave it be, and then you can separate these two movements, or you can join them together and kind of play with that hybrid movement. So the lateral ski, we get one foot loaded. We're going to load it, swing the arms, and get that jump. So we're using the momentum of the swing in the body to use that kind of reach with that leg to get that good, powerful side jump. If you're not a jumper, what you can still do is use that momentum and just step. So you're working on that step, and that foot doesn't come off the ground until that other foot is actually firmly planted on the floor. Now, the single leg RDL jump is that one where we load. So we load the leg that goes back is the arm that comes forward, and then we pop up. So joining the two together turns into something like this. We swing, and we get that little hop. Swing, little hop. So we're changing our lateral momentum to vertical momentum. So if you're looking at that going, whoa, interesting. I'm not quite to the hop yet. You can still work on this. Lateral, woo, up. Lateral, up. And work on the balance. And start working on changing that direction and changing the momentum from that lateral jump to vertical motion. So you can experiment with that any way you'd like. You can do it stepping, you can do it jumping, you can work on those balances any way you'd like, or you can make them a little bit more explosive by leaving the ground. So your call, have some fun with that. You have 20 seconds. We're just working on some lateral movement and some coordination, explosive movement to get that heart rate up, get that coordination, nervous system ready. So whatever you choose to do here, it's gonna do what it needs to do and get the body ready for what's to come. Recap for you guys on this one is a pretty quick one. Dumbbell front squat for 3 on one side, 3 dumbbell thrusters following that front squat, and then 3 single arm swings, and then repeat on the other side, followed up with some lateral ski jump plus RDL, or one of those variations I showed you for 20 seconds of just steady flow movement. 3 to 5 rounds, you guys. Take it down, have some fun, work that coordination, work that jump or step, and get that heart rate ready to go. Pause the video, come join me, we're gonna talk about what's to come. So our work set today consists of dumbbell thrusters, which we covered pretty strongly in our warm-up already. We are joining that front squat and press overhead and using those legs to get the majority of the press done with the legs and the hips. If you're using 2 dumbbells, obviously you'll use 2, you'll do full reps. If you're using a single, you'll do 5 reps, and then alternate every 5 reps until you finish that rep number that you're on. The next exercise is our kettlebell swing or dumbbell swing, and there's a few different options we can play with. We covered the mechanics pretty well, but what I want you guys to see is the different ways you can hold the kettlebell or dumbbell. So we did the single arm swing in our warm-up already, so we worked on 3 per side here. All right, so you can do this in the workout and just switch your hands as you do the same idea, switching every 5. Or you can hold the dumbbell by the bell, working on those same mechanics to move the kettlebell or dumbbell. So nice, smooth swing. From there, we can hold on to the handle like a golf club with 2 hands. And it's the same swing, taking the dumbbell or kettlebell to whatever height you feel comfortable in that swing, and whatever the hips and knees allow that dumbbell to go. We want the legs and those hips to do all the work. Now with that swing, you'll notice that my mechanics and my hinge was the same, every single variation. The only thing that changed was my hand placement. So regardless of where you hold the dumbbell or kettlebell, this hinge, this back position is always there, always engaged through the glutes, through the midsection, and we're standing with the legs and the hips to get that movement kind of flowing with that momentum. So have some fun with this one, you guys. Quick little recap with the work set. We have 25 thrusters, 5 kettlebell swings. 20 thrusters, 10 kettlebell swings. 15 thrusters, 15 swings. 10 thrusters, 20 swings. And 5 thrusters and 25 swings. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be tough. So I hope you guys enjoy. Prep your mind for a high heart rate and a heavy breath, and you're gonna be ready to go. Rest as you need to, take your time, take it from there. Now, on the bottom here, we do have a little optional work for you guys today. So we have some optional work if you'd like to play with this. It's a little bit of extension work. So what we're gonna work on is our baby Cobra. So I'm gonna lay on my belly. My toes are gonna be pressed into the floor. My forearms are gonna be flat along the ground, elbows tight. I'm gonna focus on lengthening through my spine. So I'm gonna roll my shoulders back. So they're set. I'm gonna inhale through my crown, reaching through the crown of my head, and gently pressing into the forearms and the toes. And that's not to lift myself up, but that's to engage a little bit more of my body, which allows my torso to extend. So I'm not trying to push my way up, I'm trying to breathe and lift. And my forearms and toes are just a little bit of extra support. So moving with your breath, super key here. Think inhale, reach for length, exhale, dip. After that, we have a laying arm extension. So my arms are gonna come down to the side with my palms face up. My shoulders are gonna be pulled back. My ribs and hips are gonna pull into that hollow. I'm gonna press my hands to the ceiling. I'm gonna hold for a second or two and come back down. Press up, hold for a second or two, come back down. I'm gonna take that down anywhere from 5 to 10 reps with a nice slow tempo. My last exercise is that prone shoulder raise, or PVC prone raise, but we're gonna alternate arms. So I'm gonna press my toes down, bring my ribs and hips together, armpits press down, palms press down, so I feel that engagement. I'm gonna reach with my right arm and lift, keeping my armpit towards the floor, and lower down. Pressing the arm into the floor, I'll reach and lift with the other side. So every time before I lift my arm, I'm gonna stabilize with the other side. So I'm pressing, reaching and lifting, and I'm trying to isolate the arm so that my torso stays still. It's not an arch up where my chest and head is coming up, it's just my arm and shoulder moving. So we wanna really try and isolate that single arm movement and see where it takes us. We have 10 seconds of just some solid kind of movement there. You're not gonna get a crazy amount of reps in there, but it's gonna be enough to isolate, feel that tension, and allow you to execute a really good shoulder movement. So that piece is optional. You can play around with that at the bottom, and that's gonna help guide you into your cool down if you'd like. We have 2 to 3 rounds of that piece if you're looking for some extra work. Have some fun with this work set today. It's gonna be fast, furious, and it's gonna be a good time. So enjoy, work for quality, and again, if you have any questions about anything that we do in these workouts, or some movement for warm-up or cool down, never hesitate. Always shoot me a message. We're here for you, and we're thinking a lot about you. Have a good one, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.